It's time for another edition of Motor Trend Television. Hello everyone, I'm John Mathias. What do you get with 10 fast cars, 5 miles of track, and 1 foot flat to the floor? It's Motor Trend's Top Speed Shootout. From a $30,000 sedan to a $300,000 supercar, this is gonna be good. The winner of Motor Trend's first flat-out classic was a 1973 Super Duty 455 Firebird Trans Am. It was clocked at just over 124 miles per hour. 30 years later, the slowest vehicle in our test was over 20 miles per hour faster, and it was a truck. Times have changed, and so have the cars, but the test for top speed honors remains the same.
This test is a festival of speed. It's a celebration of performance. What we've done is pull together some of the fastest, sexiest, most intriguing cars on the market and brought them out here to answer the age-old question, what'll she do?
Out here is the Ford Proving Ground near Kingman, Arizona, and what'll she do should be around 200 miles per hour, as this is Motor Trend's Top Speed Shootout. The lineup included 5 of the fastest domestic cars, including a pickup, and 5 from the rest of the world. Total value over $1 million, and altogether nearly 4,400 horsepower. We pushed each to the limit on the 5-mile oval, then our usual acceleration, braking, and slalom tests, and finally Motor Trend's all-new Total Performance Figure 8 course. But before we get to all that, let's meet the Top Speed 10. First up, Team USA. With 405 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, the 2003 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 delivers top-notch performance at a big bang-for-the-buck price. The 2003 Dodge Viper has an all-new 8.3-liter V10, plus improved handling and stability and awesome stopping power. Ford's Mustang SVT Cobra may be under $35,000, but its supercharged 4.6-liter V8 still makes nearly 400 horse. But for the cost of 6 Cobras, you too can have a Mosler MT900 Photon. Mostly carbon fiber, it's less than 2,000 pounds and basically a street-legal race car. Ford's other entry is the SVT Lightning. With 380 supercharged horses under the hood, it's the fastest factory truck on the market. Our first imported entry is sculpted by Pininfarina. Ferrari's 575M Maranello boasts a 5.7-liter V12 and a paddle-shifted Formula One style 6-speed gearbox. Stateside for the first time, Mitsubishi's Lancer Evolution delivers rally-inspired all-wheel drive performance. This 2-liter inline 4 makes an impressive 271 horsepower for under $30,000. Jaguar's XKR mixes sleek styling with big cat pounds. A supercharged 4.2-liter V8 makes 80% of its maximum torque from just 1,400 RPM. Mercedes-Benz sent the luxurious CL55 AMG. Its 5.5-liter supercharged V8 makes nearly the same power and torque as the Dodge Viper V10. Last but not least, Lamborghini's Murcielago. At close to $300,000, it's got a 571 horsepower V12, tops in this test, and full-time all-wheel drive. Motor Trend track tests about 200 cars a year, but not many of them at 200 miles per hour. For the high-speed laps, we enlisted the driving skills of racer Justin Bell, a class winner at Le Mans, who has a lot of high-velocity seat time.
If the truck is the fastest thing, I'll eat my hat.
Bell joined us for the road trip to Arizona. With 10 exotics, cargo vehicles, and a Fleetwood motorhome, our interstate convoy was not your everyday sight. After 330 miles, driver swaps, and fuel stops,
So anything for Justin Bell, you know. I got the shirt and everything, so that's the least I can do. Buy a shirt for a Corvette driver who wants a Ferrari.
a quick photo op, then our appointment with Speed.
Hi, Motor Trend here. We've got 10 test cars and support vehicles. We need access to the high-speed loop, please.
Ford's Proving Ground here has a 5-mile oval, big high bank turns, and nice long straights. It's a very safe facility for running very fast. They also have what they call the VDA, a Vehicle Dynamics Area, 19 acres worth of very grippy pavement, a great place to do all of the acceleration, braking, and handling tests we do.
After a cover shot at sunset, each was locked down for the night. The next day, they'd all be pushed towards 200 miles per hour. Which would you guess could meet or beat that mark? Find out next on Motor Trend Television.
Welcome back to Motor Trend Television. Our interstate convoy of high-speed hardware was quite a sight, but closed-circuit top-speed testing is no joyride. Each car underwent an extensive safety inspection before Justin Bell strapped in to run them flat out.
Just before dawn the next day, cars would only be cleared for testing after passing a lengthy checklist. Which car would make hot laps first? With plenty of seat time in competition Corvettes, Justin Bell's choice was a calculated one.
It's very important when you go either to a new racetrack or a test facility like this to have a benchmark. So this is my benchmark. I can tell what the track is doing because I know what the car should do. It's absolutely outrageous. I've never been on a 5-mile track in an oval before. It's actually quite daunting. The first time you come down the straight, the corners look very sharp, but then you get there and you just roll in. The transition is way smoother than any normal oval.
With the Z06 benchmark set at 174, Justin methodically chose his next ride.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Okay, I'll go with the red one.
The Mitsubishi Evolution, a seriously pumped up Lancer compact.
That's an outrageous little car. It's steady, it's smooth, you're doing 160 miles an hour. With a smaller engine car, you've got to wind it up to get the last 5-10 miles an hour.
Next up, the speed limited XKR was a smooth ride to 161.
I felt like I could have had some cucumber sandwiches on the way around. No great acceleration, no nothing, but suddenly you're going flat out. Now I know why the Queen drives one.
The Mercedes engineers agreed to disable the CO55 speed limiter, but our driver still sensed a handling issue was holding the car back.
I tell you what, if I can make the suspension stiffer, I would like to try it again.
You turn the ADC button on?
No.
Yeah, that's the front suspension.
The result was a graphic demonstration of the Mercedes computerized suspension.
That's the first Mercedes I've ever driven flat out like that. That's what I'd hoped the car was going to feel like, and I guess you have to have it on that setting to find it. Coming down here at 187, at that speed you have to pay attention, but it's pretty relaxed.
Out of the high-tech luxury coupe into a thinly disguised race car, the Mosler Photon.
This actual car has never been tested over 150 miles an hour, and you're going to do that in third gear, so it's going to be quite entertaining. Absolutely crazy. It's a racing car on the road, and that's how you're driving it. I kind of forgot that it was a road test because you're just waiting for the next corner to come up and go on the infield at Daytona, you know? It's gives you all the same energy and everything as a racing car, yet it feels pretty drivable.
Next, hot laps in one of Ford's own, the Mustang Cobra.
This is a first. I have never driven one of these. And then you get to thrash it to death. It got to 160 by the end of the banking on my first run. I mean, it knows its way around, I guess, on autopilot.
With American muscle on a roll, the Dodge Viper was up next.
Yeah, that's why you take a Viper out after lunch, you know. You're nice and relaxing, no power. when you think about it, 180 miles an hour in a car that's designed to, you know, have the roof down and look cool in is no mean feat. They've obviously done a tremendous job of improving that structure. It's probably time for a truck now.
Although a break from driving sleek and sexy cars wasn't exactly necessary,
Has anyone got any chewing backy or anything?
the Lightning was an interesting diversion.
It is Lightning. A completely different concept to anything I thought I was going to drive today. It was very stable. I'm going to change that and it's going to say Bubba Bell.
Last but certainly not least, the Italian exotics.
Things we want to deal with here are the sport suspension, which we'll click to on. This is traction control for ASR off. Click it that way as soon as we close the door. Check.
And then have fun.
And then have a lot of fun. Make big numbers.
Yeah.
Go Big Blue.
Okay, let me go back to childhood math. 160 kilometers is 100 miles an hour, so 320 will be 200 miles an hour. I feel a lot more masculine now, a lot more testosterone. It's actually sensational. I saw about 300 kilometers an hour on the backside. That's high 180s. It's just a lovely noise, you know, the Ferrari noise, and it was fun.
As the most potent performer, at least on paper, the Lamborghini was saved for last. It didn't fail to impress.
That's unbelievable! I don't know why, I just never thought of it in the same league as Ferraris and stuff, and with this, the Murcielago model, they have done it. I saw 200 just before I hit the brakes. It's definitely got the hairy chest boat, this one. I don't know whether it goes around corners, but really, do we care?
Maxing out at 193, the Murcielago claimed the top spot in our top speed test, but we had still more challenges in store for this impressive lineup.
Our top speed shootout isn't over yet. Ford's Arizona Proving Ground is the ideal place to play safe with fast cars. Once we finished on the high-speed oval, we moved to the Vehicle Dynamics area, a 19-acre paved playground for our braking and handling tests.
Having taken the top speed crown, the Murcielago was the car to beat from day one.
I would say we all consider the Lamborghini Murcielago as really one of the stars of this show. It's a car we haven't tested before, so a very exciting piece, all new from the ground up, more than 500 horsepower V12, and really pretty.
While the entire group got another tech inspection, the test courses were laid out. First up, the 600-foot slalom. Here the measure of performance is a timed average speed between the entry and exit markers of the course. The Viper and the Z06 had identical slalom scores, 70.4 miles per hour. For Jack Keebler, the Z06 is the ultimate Corvette so far.
I would say that the Z06 is the pinnacle of the C5 development. It doesn't win any one category, it just does everything exceptionally well.
More is not always better, as the CL55 stability control held it to a last place run, nearly 10 miles per hour slower than the affordable Mitsubishi.
The Evolution by Mitsubishi is one of the great surprises of this entire test, and it's one of the new breed of rally-inspired performance machines, all-wheel drive, turbocharged four-cylinder engine with a little over 270 horsepower, and a lot of performance for the money.
But it was the Mosler that owned the slalom course hands down.
I think we're about 75 miles an hour in the slalom, which is it's about 3 miles an hour faster than anything that Motor Trend has ever tested. This is a serious sports car.
Is that slalom a personal best?
Oh, yeah, it's a magazine best, it's a personal best, it's...
Record.
Although the Mosler rocketed to a new Motor Trend slalom record, all of these land missiles are stellar performers. As a group, each exceeded Motor Trend's year-long average of all vehicles slalom tested in 2002. Next up, 0 to 60. With the slowest to 60 distinction going to the Jag in the low 5s, there's little doubt this bunch was fast company. Sprint honors went, not surprisingly, to the Mosler, setting another Motor Trend record, 0 to 60 in less than 3.5 seconds.
This thing is so fast, it really recalibrates you in terms of how fast is fast. It's really on the edge of what I would want to drive on the street. It's very loud inside. When you're in there, it's like kind of being in the garbage disposal in your sink. It's really loud.
With the exception of the Mosler, all the cars were ABS equipped. We expected good braking, and we got it. All stopped well short of 120 feet, with the Evo and Z06 stopping short of 110. The Mosler still managed a mere 100-foot halt, but at just 97 feet, the Viper nailed a new Motor Trend production car braking record.
You're really only limited by how much nerve you have when you drive it. It has enormously high adhesion grip, huge brakes. That giant V10 engine makes enormous amounts of power. If you really want to find out what you're made of, this is the car you want to drive.
The final comparison? Motor Trend's new total performance test, the Figure 8.
The Figure 8 test is basically two circles of 100-foot radius separated by 500 feet on centers. So we have one long left turn, a brief burst of acceleration, hard braking, a long right turn, another burst of acceleration, hard braking. This is basically the pattern. We have a GPS-based system on board each car that can track where it is and how fast it's going, as well as what kind of G loadings the car is experiencing in all directions, forward, aft, right, and left.
Here performance was ranked according to flying lap times and lap average G-force loads. Drive systems, gearing, brakes, stability controls all played a role in the results. First place, once again, the Mosler.
This is the standout automobile in this test. It's not for everybody. It's tremendously expensive. It's very fast. It's not like a regular automobile in any way. I mean, if somebody could go out and buy an F-16 and own it and fly it, that's what this is in terms of automobiles.
One final measure of this entire group, after days of maximum flogging, we experienced not a single malfunction of any kind. This crop of modern high-performance cars proved to be highly durable too. We can't help but wonder about other potent players that couldn't make it this time around. Guess we'll just have to round them up next year. Interested?
That's all the time we have for this show. But for more details on our top speed test, pick up the latest issue of Motor Trend magazine on newsstands now. For the Motor Trend Buyer's Guide and to order comprehensive new vehicle price reports, go to Motor Trend online at motortrend.com. For all of the editors at Motor Trend, I'm John Mathias. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Motor Trend Television.